Rudy, thanks for joining us. Question, are we still fighting the war on global terrorism?
Well, we are fighting the war on global terrorism. I mean, of course, you look at what's going on in Afghanistan and in Iraq, you can see that. And the reality is that I think in those areas, the administration has done mostly things that I support. However, on the domestic front, in dealing with terrorism in this country, dealing with Guantanamo, dealing with giving Miranda warnings to terrorists, trying Khalid Sheikh Mohammed in a civilian court, being reluctant to describe Major Hassan as an Islamic extremist terrorist, this total indecision now about where to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. All of that gives me great pause that the administration is in a state of confusion in how to deal with Islamic extremist terrorism. I mean, how can you spend all this time now with the president in complete indecision about where to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed? First he was going to try him in New York. Now we don't know where he's going to try him. And now he can't make up his mind. Well, the president is supposed to be able to make up his mind about things that have to do with terrorism in a lot shorter time than 3 or 4 months.
What do you feel about Obama's change in verbiage as far as using terms like Islamic fundamentalist, jihadist? You think he's correct in that regard?
Well, I think that he's wrong in not facing squarely the fact that our enemy is Islamic extremist terrorism. And sometimes I have a great concern that President Obama seems to be harder on our friends and easier on our enemies. I mean, he wanted to negotiate without preconditions with Ahmadinejad, with Castro, with all kinds of people. Meanwhile, he is enormously critical of Netanyahu, goes out of his way to embarrass him, and won't even take pictures with him. For a guy who wants to negotiate with some of the worst dictators and terrorists in the world, who some of them running regimes, to not want to take pictures with the Prime Minister of Israel is just a kind of a strange view of the world that gives me great concern.
So I'm going to guess that you support an Israeli preemptive strike on nuclear facilities in Iran.
I support the Israeli government doing what it has to do to protect itself. I wouldn't suggest how they do that or just when they do that. I think the United States government should be in sync with the Israeli government and vice versa. They are our strongest allies in the Middle East. Israel is one of our strongest allies in the world. Israel shares a complete and absolute understanding of terrorism with us. They've been the victims of terrorism, as we have, and I saw that situation firsthand on September 11. I saw the people who were killed and destroyed by the Islamic extremist terrorists, as the people in Israel have seen it firsthand. There shouldn't be an inch of space between us and Israel in how to deal with Iran and how to deal with terrorism. And my fear is that President Obama is making things much more difficult on Prime Minister Netanyahu than he is on the Palestinian Authority.
Mayor Giuliani, thank you very much.
Thank you.